Welcome everyone to our series titled Quote Stories. I have designed this series, which covers stories from my life, with an intention to assist you with my experiences and lessons learned. More so, the deeper intention is to help you learn from my failures, which can help you avoid yours. The title of our story today is Success in Titles. So there was a time in my life where I searched for success in titles. Many years ago, while I was somewhere in the thick of my corporate career, I was fascinated by whenever I used to look at people's profiles with a set of certification to their credit. And within the quality department, or be it the technical department, for sure the need to have a technical expertise given the work is always needed. And I used to come across a lot of resumes and profiles with number of certifications to the credit. And sometimes the certifications were such that you could put that right next to your name, which in a way conveys the amount of time and commitment towards your own personal skill development. I got so fascinated by this. And I used to also think, uh, looking at these profiles and speaking with such people, putting them automatically into an area of expertise in a given domain, which is for sure there. But my level and my own perception of success now became so obsessed with these titles, with the certificates, that I would constantly look for only those profiles with these number of certifications and assuming that how successful they are in their career trajectory. It was a mere assumption, as if these certifications are a guaranteed shortcut to success. And while I was into the web of these thoughts, I said to myself, why not I do this for my own self? While I have such a great impression, I thought having this will create similar impressions on others who may want to hire me. And I'll be one of those talented, successful people because my certifications will position me the way I was positioning every time I used to come across a profile with number of certificates. So with this false assumptions that besides skill development, certifications are a shortcut to success. Certifications will help me get a job, a guaranteed job, anywhere. I'll be one of those people always in demand. The recruiters would be chasing me. I can call the shots. I will be the person uh, who who would be like always in being sought out by all the recruiters, and that's exactly where I would like to position myself. With all these false assumptions and with the understanding that all of this I could achieve only by set of my time and commitment towards particular certification and investment, I went on to draw a plan of the number of certificates that I would need because this will give me an edge. One thing I would like to clear here, friends, that for sure, development in your own self on your skills is essential. But my assumption was even beyond that. The false assumptions that I held, thinking it to be the be all and end all and a guaranteed formula to success. As a result, when I went on investing a lot of money, time, commitment, and gathering a lot of certifications to my own credit, and that was my aspiration and goal, and I successfully met that. But I got a taste of reality when, despite the number of certificates I wanted. I had more than that. I was very active in the job market. I couldn't fetch a single job. Not just that, I became so heedless that there was a time that I didn't even knew which way am I heading. Should I get into projects? Should I take up a role in the technical side? Should I be part of a HR technology team? Should I be just a consultant? Should I be someone who's on advisory board? Or should I be someone who should just be an HR generalist? Or someone who may just chuck the HR part and get on to technical side of it, developing HR tools and products on different softwares. So it was like too many directions, because all my certifications were a combination of technical expertise, functional expertise, and industry know-how, and about my subject of HR, and a lot more, including compensation, which was an area of interest to me. So I was like all over, and then I may have had built my profile in 7 different ways that I found it to be highlighting that particular area. But then I thought to myself, I can't be going ahead like this. And one of the reason why this thought crossed my mind, up until then I was like always living in my false assumption world, was regardless of the certifications I had, I never had any recruiter reaching out to me the way I envisioned as somebody, the sought after, the person in demand, the person in, I mean, people are just chasing me, and would just get me because they don't know the kind of expertise I bring. But what I didn't knew was it was a false assumption. And a recruiter who's hiring for a compensation specialist would not look at profiles of somebody into project management certificate. Similarly, a recruiter who would hire a project management professional would not look at an HR profile, obviously, because that's not what they're looking for. Any good, efficient recruiter would never do that. So this was the main turning point in my career, where again, I reached out to my coach. I have on purpose shared with you this particular, this is how my name would be, and this is actually what I envision. So I was a PMP, a project management professional, an SHRM SCP, a senior certified professional in HR with the SHRM Society, and then I was an ITIL, the foundation, then I was a certified coach, then I was a compensation specialist, and there's a lot more. So friends, if sometimes, why I share this with all of you is like, if just like me, because most of us as human beings, we all have a very common tendency where we sometimes, specifically on social media, when we look at our colleagues or our project leads or our supervisors and think and assume them to be very, very successful, there are a lot of thoughts that are at play. For me, watching these titles right next to the name gave me a false impression, which created that false assumption that the number of titles and certifications will not only denote that this person has invested in themselves, but also that this person is the most successful, and it will be a profile which can never get rejected. And that's exactly where I was in need of a coach. So my coach, as always, helped me connect the dots. He taught me, putting all my certification aside, if I go back to the time when I started to where I would like to go in future, and how each of this certification will add value to it. He gave me a very simple activity to connect the dots. and understand how each dot will play into it. And only then I realized that I had just, it was like a buffet, and I have randomly picked up stuff with the false assumptions at play. The most second important lessons that I learned from this particular experience was even more important than the first one. My coach taught me, but not directly, in so many ways, that actually the very concept that, you know, we come across advertisements and promotional material where people talk about guaranteed success, or you take your money back, or sometimes they talk about some sort of percentage success rate you may get, which in reality actually is half truth. Mastery, expertise cannot be microwaved. We cannot get instant results. There's no such thing. There could be an instant food which comes with its own set of negative and harmful effects. Similarly, there are no shortcuts to success. Expertise require patience, being very, very patient with our own selves, with our work and efforts, being steadfast and holding on, and the kind of experience which then takes you to that mastery levels, perhaps even a set of some failures, which I have in plenty. And that's exactly was one of the main lessons I learned 10 years ago, after which I never touched this approach. And believe me, friends, today when I run the successful establishment of Guide and Advice, this is the underlying, I would say, formula for success that I enjoy today. Because I have detached myself from the very false assumption that there are shortcuts to success, or one could microwave mastery. We simply cannot. When this reality dawned upon me, that was a turning point in my life. So if you could learn from my failures, I will be more than happy to share. Finally, one of the things I always do with my coach, and I would also want you, if you ever feel you've assumed certain things and you're running with it and you still don't find any breakthrough or success in it, reflect, are your assumptions valid, or are you running just like me on false assumptions? Most of what we assume is based on the several things we read, we may get fascinated by, or we get exposed to every single day over LinkedIn, social media, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, many other groups that we're part of, the books we read, the people we move around with. And so everything is like our subconscious brain is gathering data, and this forms our thought and eventually our whimsical thoughts and certain assumptions, which requires validation, because it's not necessary that everything that we assume is as exactly true or factual as we think it to be. And to validate it, evaluate it, you need an expert help. In my case, my coach was my help, who helped me look at my assumptions from a very, very non-judgmental, neutral way, and help me evaluate what exactly was at play when I was just getting so fascinated by, simply titles and assuming that this would lead to success. It was an eye-opener for me. So these are the 3 key lessons from my life that I share with you today. Well, that's it for today, friends. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching till the end. These are my coordinates. If in case you want to ask anything, you have anything to suggest, feel free to write to me or connect with me. Thank you.